What's going on, guys? Mario here, back with another video, and today's video is a little different. I've gotten this question asked a lot. As a trader, what do I look at in the pre-market? What's my daily routine in the morning? What are things that are less important as a trader? What do you focus on for your entries, your exits, and all that stuff? So today I'll be going and deep diving into all of that. Very short video, shouldn't be too complicated. I'll just be going through what I look at on a daily basis just as I trade. And without further ado, let's get into the video. First thing I actually do is look at the economic calendar, the earnings calendar. So for example, right now we're at the end of September. There isn't really any noteworthy earning. And obviously first thing I look here is if there's any important data. So for example, today we're the 26th. We had GDP in the morning and jobless claims. Obviously that moved the market in the pre-market. That mooned us, and obviously tomorrow we have PCE, which could move markets. So that's the first thing I look at. And then obviously the second thing is how the market reacts to this data. Before the market opens at 9:30, this data usually comes out at 8:30. So I look at the pre-market action in the US 500, which is the S&P 500, obviously. SPY, QQQ, I just look at the action. Obviously this pre-market high or this day high is important to trade with, and stuff like that. So identify gaps, gap downs, all that stuff. So that's the first thing and second thing. Now the third thing is I go to Yahoo Finance here and I look at the other indices. So how Asia performed, China and Japan, as well as the FTSE, the DAX in Germany, and the CAC in France. I just look at the chart. Did we dip today? Was the dip bought? Just pretty much the action on the indices. So that's very important as well. Another thing is Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is a liquidity driver. So Bitcoin up obviously means risk on sentiment, and if Bitcoin's down normally means risk off sentiment. So another thing is gold. Where's gold? Gold futures usually move with Bitcoin, obviously on a good relation. Sometimes on war news and other stuff like that it moves by itself, but just noteworthy to look at gold, how it's performing. Up usually means good with the market. Down usually means bad, but it depends on the scenario in the market. Obviously, it's important to look at the dollar, if the dollar is performing well or not. So obviously the dollar, if it's going up, usually it's not good for equities. If it's going down, it's good for equities. It depends on how the market is moving and what data is coming in, but that's usually it. Crude is good to look at as well. Usually crude up means it's good for the market. Crude down means it's bad for the market. Obviously this is different at this time because there's war headlines right now. They're talking about a ceasefire. Not really noteworthy, but obviously you still want to look at it. And then the VIX. So the VIX is very important. You want to know where the VIX is reacting, where we're at in the market. I have these two lines. So between 14 and 12, usually that means totally risk on sentiment. Do whatever you want. So right now we're between 19 and 14. I believe it's going to stay like that throughout the elections, just because there's going to be a lot of headlines. Right now we're still in risk on sentiment. Anything over 20, risk off. So just good to look at that. Another thing that's important to look at are bonds. So I look at the 10-year. Obviously this was more of a good indicator when inflation was going up back in 2022. Now it's not really useful, but it's just good to look at bonds. That's basically all I look at for the pre-market. What happened overnight in the indices, the action on the data news. Then I look at the other markets like the Nikkei, the Hang Seng, FTSE, CAC, DAX. I look at Bitcoin. I look at the dollar. I look at crude. I look at gold. I look at the VIX. And that gives me sort of a conclusion on how I would attack the market that day. Obviously, that's just very basic information that I'm giving. Obviously it depends. I look at SPY as well. If there's a flag forming, for example, here, if there's a flag, I'd anticipate a breakout. Depends on where we're at in the market and how it's performing, obviously. So I just want to tackle what I look at briefly, maybe 10-15 minutes. Obviously I look at the Discord over here as well. A lot of insight, a lot of great people here trading, so we talk every morning. But that's basically all I look at. I hope this helps at least one person. Hope you guys learned something from today's video. Like I said, very short. Just wanted to go through what I look at in the pre-market. If you guys have any questions, leave it in the comment section below. I'll be happy to answer you guys. If there's another video you guys want me to go through, trading related, any suggestions, I'm open to it. I'll cover it in a video. I'll be back with another video hopefully next week. I'll catch you guys then.